Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of PTD6. Let's continue with the hero's guide and the tutorial. Right now, Obyn. So I have deactivated monkey knowledge to show you the hero by itself without any extra help. So let's jump into sandbox medium. And now you can see the base cost of Obyn being 650 cash. So he's more expensive than Quincy, but definitely cheaper than Striker Jones and Gwen. And now his base cost has been nerfed in this very last patch. Before this last patch, his base cost was lower, and so he was one of the heroes that you could use to start chimps. But now you cannot anymore. And in my opinion, Ninja Kiwi has nerfed Obyn because of the fact that he's just super strong. He's the strongest hero in my opinion in the game, and that's why they have nerfed him. So now you cannot start chimps anymore with him. So you're gonna need like another way to start. And now let's take a look at his general stats. So his range is slightly smaller than Quincy's, but slightly larger than Gwen. So pretty like average, you can see it compared to that monkey. Then his piercing is 3, so he can pop level 1 4 different bloons. His attack speed is pretty average, so like Quincy, so it's not high like Gwen, but it's not even like low. And finally, his damage is 2 layers with each hit. So he's the very first hero that we find that can pop 2 layers of bloons at level 1. Now Obyn has also some special characteristics. So his wolf attacks are considered like energy attacks. That means that he can pop lat bloons already at level 1, but he cannot pop purple bloons. So pretty much exactly like Gwen. And on top of that, he does not have camo detection, so he cannot pop camo bloons. Now Obyn's attacks he can attack through obstacles, so he can ignore the line of sight blockage by obstacles, and his wolf attacks can fly through obstacles and can still pop bloons behind them. So you can see right here, for example, like a normal tower, like a glue gunner, you can see all that red area being the line of sight blocked by the obstacles, and you can see instead Obyn having none of that. So that's the line of sight like blockage not being there with Obyn, and so yeah, he has that extra feature. And on top of that, his wolf attacks are have a pretty much like a seek and shuriken effect. So these wolf attacks are gonna just turn very sharply in the air, trying to pop as many bloons as possible all the time. So trying to cap the piercing, and you can see by how much these wolf attacks are gonna turn. Now of course, after a while, these wolf attacks are gonna expire. So after a while they'll fly, they're gonna expire. But despite that, still you can see sometimes very sharp U-turns, movements by these wolf attacks, trying to pop as many bloons as possible. Alright, so that's it for his general stats. Now I'm gonna go through all the levels, explaining all of them, and then at the end of the video I'm gonna just give you a brief overview, and I'm gonna summarize his strengths and weaknesses and the best way to use him. Now level 2 is just a buff to magic monkeys, so all magic monkeys in range of him are gonna get an extra pierce added to their base pierce. Level 3 you get Bramble, so his first ability. Now the positioning of Brambles, very much like Gwen's level 3, is completely RNG based. So depending on random number generator, you're gonna have these Brambles placed in different spots, as you can see. Now differently from Gwen though, these Brambles have raw specs properties, so you can pop purple bloons with them. So despite the fact that Obyn cannot pop purple bloons, you can though pop purple bloons with the Brambles, but you cannot pop lat bloons. So yeah, it's pretty much like you have raw specs in the path. and because of that you can also pop Camo Bloons. So despite that, yeah, again, Obyn cannot pop Camo Bloons directly, but you can pop Camo Bloons with Brambles. Now, as it says here, you can pop up to 50 different Bloons with each set of Brambles. Now, of course, this is RBE, so that means that you can pop 50 red Bloons or 25 blue Bloons or even less green Bloons and so on. Now level 4 is a passive, so now every 18 seconds is going to create this totem right here that is going to slow down all Bloons by 30%. You can now this slow is going to be for all the Bloons, so normal Bloons, Camo Bloons, and even Moab class Bloons. So Moabs, BFBs, Zomagats, and DDTs are all going to be slowed by the totem. Only BADs, of course, are immune to this slow. And one thing that here it doesn't say is that you can reduce the amount of time that takes to Obyn to place this totem by increasing his attack speed. So if, for example, you get a village here, and then you get, I don't know, like an alchemist or like a temple buff, anything to just buff the attack speed, you can see that right now Obyn can even get a second totem placed before the first one has expired. So these 18 seconds is not really an absolute number. It can be reduced if you increase his attack speed. Level 5 increase attack speed to Obyn, so his basic attacks. Then piercing at level 6 is increased from 3 to 8, so you can pop 9 different Bloons now at once. Level 7 is a buff to Brambles, so from 50 Bloons popped to 100 Bloons popped, and that's it. Now level 8 is a buff to the totem. Now the slow is gonna be 40%. Level 9 is a buff to the damage, so now Obyn's basic attacks are gonna pop 2 extra layers of damage, so from 2 layers already to 4. And finally, level 10, you unlock Obyn's second ability, Wall of Cheese. Now this ability is quite unique, and it's quite long also to explain, so I'm going to try to do my best. So yeah, again, this ability is completely RNG based, so around Obyn's range is going to be completely random where this Wall of Cheese is placed. And now this Wall of Cheese is going to stay infinitely on the screen, so it can survive through all the rounds pretty much, like 5, 10, 15, 20 rounds, and it's gonna disappear only when it's full of Bloons, and so it's gonna explode and it's gonna give you cash in doing so, or if you replace it with another Wall of Cheese, because you can have only one Wall of Cheese at a time. The maximum amount of Bloons that Wall of Cheese can tank is 3k, so 3k RBE, and you can tank with Wall of Cheese, you can tank normal Bloons, you can tank Camo Bloons, and you can tank also DDTs and Moabs. Now because Moabs have 616 RBE instead, DDTs have slightly higher, you can tank 4 Moabs with the Wall of Cheese before it's not anymore able to tank any more Moabs, or you can tank 3 DDTs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 4 Moabs that you can tank. See? But now you can't tank anymore a 5th one, because that would go over 3k, so over the maximum piercing capacity, and so the Moab is just gonna go fly above it, as you can see. Now if I reset here the Wall of Cheese, you can see that it's gonna give me cash. Alright, now the amount of cash that you get from the Wall of Cheese, of course, is gonna depend on how many Bloons were tanked inside of it, and also it depends on the round. So the closer the round is to round 100, the less cash Wall of Cheese is gonna give to you. So you can see right there, like in round 1 I received a ton of cash. Here if I just place round 100, and for example I try with 3 DDTs, you can tank 3 DDTs before the 4th one. It can be tanked because it would go already over the 3k maximum piercing, and I reset it. you can see that the amount of cash I get is totally less. So it's just 22 cash for each banana. That's how the cash generator works. And that's pretty much it. So those are the properties of water trees. Now I say that water trees can stay infinitely because of the fact that brambles can survive 2 rounds. So when you place brambles, in this case, for example, if I place it in round 1, if it's not consumed by any bloons, it can survive round 1, round 2, and then at the beginning of round 3 it's gonna expire by itself. So you have 2 rounds in which you can place brambles and they can survive through it. And but at the 3rd round, even if it hasn't been consumed by any bloons, it's gonna expire anyway. So that's why I say that water trees instead can survive infinitely, so until it's either replaced by another one or it explodes because it's full of bloons. Okay, so let's move on. Level 11 now, it's another level buffing other towers. So now unfortunately the description it's wrong, so I don't know if it's a bug or if it's just wrong. So in this case, all towers, so not only magic monkeys but all towers in range of Obyn are gonna benefit from the additional 5 units range. And you can see it here just very simply how much it increases. See that when it enters in range of Obyn, the range increases. But then only magic monkeys are gonna benefit from the extra 3 of pierce. So that's what works. So only magic monkeys are gonna benefit from both the range and the extra 3 pierce. Level 12 attack speed, level 13 popping power. Now at level 13 the popping power becomes 13, so you can pop up to 14 different bloons with each attack. Level 14 extra damage, so 2 extra layers of damage from 4 to 6. That means that you can pop oh wait, I have the brambles there. You can pop 1 black bloon and 1 white bloon in 1 hit. Level 15 it's another buff to the totem, so now the totem is gonna slow down bloons for 60%, and it has reduced cooldown. Now what this means is that now with the totem, I'm gonna just remove these water trees. I'm gonna just place it. Okay, here we go. So now without any extra attack speed, you can have 2 totems for a brief amount of time. You can have 2 totems at once. Now of course, if you increase even further the attack speed of Obyn, like with a village, with an alchemist, with a temple, and so on, you can have for longer you can have 2 totems. And yeah, that's it. Then level 16 it's a buff to brambles, so now brambles can pop 500 bloons each, so it's 5 times more damage compared to the previous upgrade. And yeah, that's it. Level 17 more attack speed. Level 18 is yet another very unique level because it's gonna benefit only the druids and only a specific path of the druids, that is the bottom one. And oh wait, this one, yeah. So now all druids are in the screen, I think, because it doesn't say only in range. So I think all the druids in the screen are gonna start each round at 200 pops. Now what this means is because of this upgrade. So now you can see right here that it said that the Druid of Wrath, Druid of Wrath, is gonna gain attack speed as long as it's popping bloons. So each new round, the pops of the Druid is considered starting like from 0, and as the Druid is popping the bloons, and so it's adding to its solo pops, is gonna gain attack speed. And I think that the attack speed is capped at 200 pops. So once the Druid can pop 200 layers of bloons, then you gain the maximum possible attack speed. Now when a new round starts, these pops are like reset, and the Druid is gonna need to like reach 200 pops again to increase attack speed, and so on. Now with this level of Obyn, now all Druids of Wrath start each round already at 200 pops. So that means that each druid of Wrath, or each pop blast, or each avatar of Wrath is gonna start each round with already the maximum possible attack speed. So that's how this level works. Level 19, an extra 2 layers of damage. So now the total layers of damage is 8. That means that you can pop 1 rainbow in 1 hit. So that's a lot of damage. And finally, level 20 is a buff to Wall of Trees. Now with this level, Wall of Trees can tank more Bloons. So from 3k Bloons to 5k Bloons. And it's also gonna give to you more cash. So once you either replace it, or it explodes, it's gonna give you more cash. And that's it. So those are the 20 levels from Obyn. Now, just a quick overview here about these strengths and weaknesses. Unfortunately, his main weaknesses stay the same. So with his basic attacks, he cannot pop purple Bloons. You can pop purple Bloons only with Brambles or with Wall of Trees. And the same goes for Camo Bloons. So he cannot attack Camo Bloons, he cannot auto attack them. You can pop Camo Bloons only with Brambles or only with Wall of Trees. And so yeah, that's it. So if you want Obyn to be able to basic attack Camo Bloons, you need a village, and in order to pop purple Bloons, you need other towers, because there is so far there isn't a buff in the game that allows a tower to pop only purple Bloons, other than, for example, Gwen, but she has like a specific level. And so you will never be able to pop purple Bloons with Obyn, not even having like the Alchemist buff, because as it says here, like the Alchemist buff is not gonna really make a tower able to pop purple Bloons, only lead Bloons. So even with the Alchemist buff, you cannot pop purple Bloons. So the Alchemist of course can, but Obyn himself, he can't. So those are Obyn's like main weaknesses. And but now talking about the strengths, Obyn is very similar to Gwen, because he's an all-around hero. He's gonna have upgrades to buff his damage, his attack speed, his piercing, but at the same time he has levels to have like passive. In this case, it's gonna be the totem as low, so very slow, that is gonna affect all Bloons. So even like DDTs, Oh My Gods, even mob class Bloons are affected by this slow, even Camo Bloons. So very good. And on top of that, he's gonna have also 2 levels to buff other towers. So at this level 11, he can increase the range of all the other towers, so even villages can benefit from this upgrade. And specifically magic monkeys can benefit from the extra 3 pierce. So for example, imagine a super monkey, each super monkey attack having 3 extra pierce. That's a ton more of damage that this super monkey can do. So, and the same goes for like a ninja, wizard, the druid. So you know, even the alchemist benefits from this upgrade, but of course the alchemist is not a tower that's gonna primarily do a lot of damage already, so you use more the alchemist to like buff or to apply a debuff. So yeah, overall I think Obyn, all his kit, the fact that he can pop like 8 layers of damage with each wolf attack, he can attack through obstacles, he gains a lot of attack speed, a lot of piercing, his wolf attacks can fly through the air, can turn to maximize the piercing, just makes him one of the strongest heroes. And I think he's the strongest hero in the game. And he scales up very well in the late game. So even his basic attacks against super swarms, because he has 8 layers, because he has a lot of attack speed, a lot of piercing, he can still manage very well to just destroy the super swarms. Well, in this case, World Trees was in the way, but here if I just reset it and I place it further away, you can see right now how much Obyn, like, he annihilated the 10 super swarms by himself. So yeah, a very strong hero, and definitely one I would recommend if you want to get the black border on chimps, because he makes it so easy. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.